Hello everyone, thank you for coming and to watch another one of my videos. This is Yoga with Danielle, and this series of videos is made possible by funding from the Vancouver Foundation Small Neighbourhood Grant. So thanks to them. Today we are still going to focus on trying to get into crow. We're going to take things down a little notch and do things a little bit slower and do a little bit more yin. So hopefully that's good for you. We're going to start off actually in a prone position, so find a nice comfortable seat to sit on the floor. Before you do that though, I need to remind you that you will need some props today, so have a foam chip block or your equivalent available to you, plus normal size blocks, and a bolster or something that equivalent available. Okay, let's come down to the floor on your bellies. Find a nice comfortable position, hands down by your side. Let's take a couple ujjayi breaths, and making sure you're breathing in through your nose, tightening the back of your throat so you can hear it as it goes in and out, and then breathing out. So in, beautiful. Place your hands on your belly. We're going to try breathing straight and deeply into your belly this time. So one deep breath in. Let's do that one more time. Move your hands to the start of your rib cage. Let's breathe in there. Let's do that twice. So breathing in. Moving your hands up to your chest, breathing into your chest twice. Hopefully that feels okay for your body. We're going to do it 2 more times. This time we're going to try to really do what's called a 3-part breath. So breathing into your belly, into your pausing, breathing into your chest, and then up into your upper chest. And try to let it go the same way. So chest, then rib cage, and then belly. So let's see how we do. So breathing in, and out. Let's do that 2 more times. In, and out. And out. Let's do one more deep breath and we'll let that one out with a ha. Beautiful. Oh, I forgot to do the ha. Except to do one more. Beautiful. So this breath is really good if you're feeling anxious. It makes you calm down, really think about your breathing. Something you could try if you need to take some time to do some deep breathing. Okay, we're going to stretch out on our backs today too, so let's raise our hands above our heads and make sure legs are nice and long behind us. We're going to walk our hands over to our right side, trying to keep our shoulders flat on the ground as we can. Our hands over to your right, and then rock your feet over to the right too. So we end the stretch on the side of our body. If you really want more stretch, you can lift up your left leg and place it over top of your right. And a full body stretch that way. This is called banana asana, or just banana stretch. One more breath. Walking your hands back to center and your legs back to center. Then walking them to your left and bringing leg back over to your left. You can also bring that ankle over the top with the extra stretch. I'm really finding this one tighter in my right side, so definitely feel a good stretch all the way up my body. Let's take 3 deep breaths into her right side. Beautiful, walking back to center. Bringing your hands down, bringing your knees up to your chest. Give yourself a nice big tight hold. Let's roll a little bit, working your out to your lower back and your cossack, your hips. Bring your head down to the ground so you can move up to your upper back, rolling. Keeping your hands on one hand on each leg. Let's bring your knees up to your chest, pull them out to your rib cage into your armpits, and circle them around. Some really big circles. One more this way. Bring your feet back, our knees back into center. Bring your knees down first, and then out, up to your armpits, and then back to center. Be more this way. Beautiful. Bring your feet up to the sky. Straighten your legs up. Point and flex your toes. Bring your knees back down to the ground. Drop one leg down to the ground. Stretch your leg out. I did my left first. You can do whatever side, as long as you do both sides. And really bring up your right knee up to your chest. This is called a wind relieving pose. We want more of a stretch. You can flutter your left leg in this left leg up instead of touching the ground with it. And release, switching your feet. Once again, if you want more of a stretch, keeping that leg, extended leg, above the ground. And it works your core a little bit more than just dropping it to the ground. Beautiful. Grab onto your toes with your fingers. Back by your big toes with your fingers. Bring your feet up into the sky for happy baby. And rock it back and forth. I can feel muscles in my back getting a massage while I do this. Beautiful. Come back to a still place. Let's try the supine crow again. So hands like if you're holding into crow, your feet crouched. Right. You can place your head up a little bit so your back has a bit of a curve. Feel that stretch. See if you can put your knees on your elbows. One more breath. Let's make a nice deep one. And release. Good. Coming over to your side. This is where your bolster is handy. We're going to do a side stretch. So I'm going to put my bolster on the ground like this, so it's sitting upright. I'm going to lean over it like this. And extend the top hand, so in this case this is my left hand, over my head, really extend. And let's bring our hand back over and switch sides. I'm just going to throw this to the other side. So your left side's down this time. Right leg is over your left arm, right arm is over your head. Bring your head to the ground. And stretching this side out. Let's do 5 deep breaths into our right side. Send yourself back down again. Arms out, extended, hands on top of each other. Right knee planted up flat on the ground. We're going to see how good our range of movement is. We're going to open up our right arm, sweep along the ground, see if we can bring it all the way around. See if we can get that hip to stay, or the knee to stay down as we try to push our right shoulder into the ground. I don't have the range of motion, but some of you might be able to bring your right shoulder down while keeping that hip still on top of each other. And bring the arm back around again. Let's do it one more time. Right arm around, moving the head as we try to bring the shoulder down, and keeping the hip and knee, especially the knee, on ground. And I'm just going to flip over onto my other side from this position. So you can see on the side, planting my left foot and knee on the ground, head down, and opening up this side. I don't have the range of movement on my left. Some of you know I find this quite easy. I'm bringing it around. Just something to work forward, toward. And beautiful. Then we're going to come from this position into tabletop. Now, I mentioned last video about dolphin pose. Now, dolphin pose technically is a way to get into your handstand. So you have your arms down like this, your head's close to the ground as you can, and you're basically in a downward facing dog position. It's not very fun, but you can use those hands if you find that you have difficulty with your wrists. So you can have them up like this, or have your hands flat on the ground, and basically do a tabletop pose like this. You find that your wrists have difficulty. You can also do that into plank position, or even into the full downward facing dog. We're going to do some cat-cows, so you can try your dolphin pose for cat-cows, or dolphin arms for cat-cows. I'm going to go into the usual tabletop, making sure I'm nice and square. Knees and arms are nicely aligned. I'm going to make sure that I'm breathing in for cow and out for cat. Sometimes I get them switched. You might find that you like them doing the other way. Breathing in, really extending that head up, arching your back, coming the other way for cat. Two more. Coming into a neutral spine. Let's extend our right foot behind us, pushing your toes into the ground, working that calf muscle and your thighs, hamstrings. Going forward, we're going to go into songbird pose, so extending the upper arm. We're going to add some crunches in it though, so we're going to try to do 3 crunches. This means we're bringing our elbows and our knees together. So we do this, so crunching in, extend, let's do 2 more. And put your arms back down. Left leg, extend it out. Really push into it. Looking forward, making sure we're in neutral position. Extend that leg up in the sky. Keeping it, let your hips level though. Extend your right arm. Then crunch it 3 times. Inhale in, exhale. And release. Off your foot, or leg back down. Coming into our child's pose for breath. And coming up, so you're sitting on your, high on your knees like this. I'm just going to turn just because. I'm going to do camel. So camel is a backward bend. First of all, just make sure our body's warm enough for it. We're going to place our hands on our bum, like we're putting our hands in pockets if we had back pockets. And really breathing in, extending your head back, pushing your chest forward. Find that position. And release. If you like that, you can either stay where you go into that position again, or go into the full camel. Now, I find that camel is a lot easier if you make sure your toes are planted on the ground. So your heels are up a little higher. They're easier to reach for. I'm going to do the same thing. Really lean back and drop your hands down to your heels, coming into the full extension of camel. And release, walking your hands back up and coming down again. How's our body feeling? Warm enough to try a crow? I hope so. Okay, remember, for crow, we can do some props to help us out. So I'm going to put this block there, so if I fall forward, my head's going to land on that. I'm going to do 2 blocks stacked on top of each other here. So get myself in position, making sure my hands are nice and planted, coming up on my toes, and placing my feet on top of this block, so I get a little bit of extra help getting into that position. And fingers planted nicely, arms rotated in, looking forward. So bring my hips up, and I lean forward, coming off the block. Now I can try it. Remember, I can do the tucking my elbows into my knees for a different position. That's why that block is there. As you can see, I'm doing some really moving around, feeling my body out before I really push in. How's my balance? Really try to engage my back muscles as I lift off. Okay. I'm going to place my toes on this, get my hands in position. So making sure my fingers are nice and spread. My elbows are internally rotated, so I'm engaging my back muscles, leaning forward, bringing my bum in the air, and then trying to get my elbows above my elbows below my knees, leaning forward, engaging the muscle through here, as well as tilting my head down. Looking forward and lifting off. Let's try that one more time. So crow is a difficult pose. But once you get it, it's going to be really fun to have. I'm still working on getting it. It's something you can play with though. Don't be scared of the pose. Play with it. Down, lifting off, and see how long you hold it before gravity takes you back down. So some tips I've seen is curling your back more, engaging those muscles. There's a lot of people out there that want to help you with crow. Let's take a breath in puppy pose. So we're walking those hands out. So bring our head and our chest down to the ground. Keeping your arms engaged. And down. Going back up. Bring your hands closer forward. Bring your toes up. You can step or walk your hands. Actually, walking your feet to your hands. A jump. And coming into forward fold. Let's hang on forward fold for a little bit. Remember, this is a really good pose to help you find the movement and that length that you need for your crow. Half lift. And release. And slowly roll up to standing. Finding your mountain pose. Nice and strong. Arms to your side. Hips stacked above your feet. Shoulders stacked above your hips. Head stacked on your neck. Take one deep breath and mountain pose. We're going to do a warrior two float. So I'm going to bring my left foot forward and stepping my right foot back. And here's some placement things you can use to help you. I have my front of my left foot, my back of my left foot, and my heel is pointing to the middle of my back foot. Some people like to have their hips in line with each other. I prefer just the extra stability it brings me to have it like this. Making sure you have a nice good bend in your front knee. And you're not leaning forward as you're in the pose, but you're keeping your hips straightly stacked. Your torso is above your hips, engaging your stomach muscles, and then putting your arms out, looking over your front fingers. Beautiful. Take 2 breaths in this pose. Drop your back hand, so it's resting on your leg. Bringing that forward hand up and over your head, coming into the exalted warrior. Beautiful. Dropping that arm back down again. Straighten the front knee. We're going to lean forward and then drop that hand down. So this is called triangle pose. If you find you don't have a support, you can always use a block to rest your hand on. Oops. To come into this pose. Or just rest your hand against your leg or onto the ground if your hand reaches that far. Important part is we're not leaning forward. We're trying to keep a nice line between fingertips to fingertips. And release. Bringing the front left foot facing the long side of your mat. So both feet face the long side of your mat. Hands on your hips as you come down. Drop your hands to the ground. Bring them underneath. You can also grab onto your ankles. A little bit more of a stretch. Really try to get that head down. I know some people that can really just reach their arms all the way down and through. Some people just have different flexibilities. You find where your body's comfortable. You want to find that edge where you can feel it, but it's not, doesn't hurt too much. Walking your hands over to your left side, lifting your left toes. Try to keep both knees straight. Back to center, and over to your right foot for a couple breaths. Go back down to center again. See if you can push a little bit further. Walk your hands back up, hands on your hips as you come up slowly. Turn your right foot out this time. So you're standing up straight. I may have got the rights and lefts mixed up for you there. Hopefully you can figure it out. Nice and tall. Once again, making sure the torso is strong, belly is tucked in, so you're engaging your stomach muscles, your abs, arms are up, double checking that they're the same height. Look forward over your top, your right fingers. Three breaths. Make them nice and deep. Drop that hand to the back hand down. Bringing the hand up and over your head. Coming into Exalted Warrior on the side. Okay, straighten the front knee, arms still coming back up again, leaning forward as far as you can, bringing the hand, your hand down beside your ankles, ankle. Remember you can use a block if you need to. So really push that shoulder up and over if you can. Something I need to remember, engaging your shoulder muscles. And drop that back hand down as you straighten forward. Beautiful. Walk both feet in, keeping yourself a little pigeon-toed. Now we're going to squat. Coming down. Hands down. Coming down on your bottom. Sitting down. I'm going to do another yin pose. We're going to do fire log pose. So you want to have your left leg so that your calf is parallel to the top of the mat. And then you're going to bring your right leg over top of it, keeping your calves parallel. You should immediately feel that into your hips. Now if your knee looks like this, you find it really hard to put in, use a block. Some people have to sit like this in order to get anywhere close to this pose. Try your best. Use padding if you need it. For me, I find it fairly easy. I'm going to place pressure on my right knee just to bring it down more as I lean forward. Find your edge, and we're going to hold it for, let's do 7 breaths. And come up slowly. Shake your legs out a little bit. And opposite side. Placing your right leg down first. Finding the nice parallel place. And bring your left leg over top. Sitting nice and tall. Remember, each side will be different. If you need to, use the block to give you more support. Or if you find it even simpler, bringing the pressure onto that knee, lean down forward. Another 7 breaths on this side. again. And do one more pose before we go into Shavasana. We're going to come back down on our backs. So you can come down however you want. So remember, you can do boat pose. So slowly lower, all the way down. Your choice. Have a block available to you. We're going to do a supported bridge pose. So bringing your legs into bridge position. Remember that's so you can almost brush the tips of your fingers against your heels, or for me, I'm basically grabbing onto my heels because my arms are so long. Have that block available to you as you roll under, roll your shoulders under, lifting that up, your bum up. Place the block how you want it, so you can have it full top length, so you have a really extended bridge pose, or you can have it just halfway, up to you. I'm going to go for full. Bring the arms back down, making sure my shoulders are rolled under. We're going to hold for a little bit in this pose. Let's do 2 more deep breaths right into our belly. Making sure that our knees aren't flaking out to the sides. Lifting the hips up as you pull the block out and lower slowly to the ground. Let's do one more squeeze. Bring your hips to your chest. Nose into your knees. And lower slowly, all the way into Shavasana. For Shavasana, remember, let's try a couple more, those 3-part rests. So one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, rib cage as you breathe in, into your belly, into your rib cage, and into your chest. One more, let's up that one out with a ha. So into your belly, into your rib cage, chest, and bring your hands to your sides and relax. Breathing into your belly normally. Remember, I'm going to be doing a live video class outside this coming Saturday. Please see the description for more details and for my email address. You can email me to sign up. Thank you again for joining me. Please stay in Kushrasana as long as you want. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.